If you had the option right now to instantly gain 5 pounds of muscle, lose 10 pounds of fat, or stay the same, which would you choose and why? 5 pounds of muscle. Gotta look fit. Like that is the biggest benefit. With more muscle you have an increased strength and only get tired after longer period. Stay the same. Can't be fit bearded tax man. Muscle. It takes months to gain 5 pounds of muscle. If you need to lose 10 pounds you can do it rather quickly. Muscle takes ages, or working out a good diet to get 5 pounds. And those muscles disappear so fast when not maintained. Don't despair, they actually don't. Muscle is a difficult and costly tissue to build. And unless you're really starving, your body doesn't want to lose that investment. You will quickly begin to look like you've lost muscle if you're not working out for a while. But this is because you're not retaining as much water and your body isn't storing as much glycogen. Because it doesn't need to have short-term energy stores on standby to do heavy work. Within a couple of weeks of being back in the gym, your former juiciness will return as your body gets the message to start depositing more glycogen. Just to add one more detail to what you said. When muscles grow from working out they both increase in glycogen amount and also the nuclei split and multiply. As a result, muscle cells can have multiple nuclei. Those nuclei don't go away when your muscles get smaller. And that is the part that is really slow building. If I lost 10 pounds of fat I'd probably die, so I'll take the muscle. This guy likes being alive. Now I'd just rather not go out by starving. Been there. It's not fun. You've died by starvation. Was this a part of the clinical death post I was just on? I don't know, kinda poor wording on my part. I didn't die, but I was close. That backstory is that I used to have an eating disorder and I ended up dangerously underweight because of it. The mental and physical problems that came with that were awful. When the body goes into starvation mode, it's miserably. And since I'm on the topic, if you or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder, get them help, they need it. It could literally be a matter of life or death. And potential death aside, that's no way to live. You deserve better. Lose 10 pounds of fat. Because I'm 235 pounds of chunk. Not hunk. I'm 240 pounds of chunk, and I'd still take the 5 pounds of muscle. I used to lift weights religiously, so my noob gains are far behind me, and 5 pounds of muscle would take an extremely long time to gain otherwise. As for the fat, I have a hard time losing it too, but 10 pounds of fat is easier to lose than 5 pounds of muscle is to gain. This is the answer I came here for. I'm like 160, and I'd still take muscle. I lifted weights religiously for like 5 years, and through unfortunate circumstances came out more or less the same. Disease hindered my progress. Muscle is fucking hard to gain for me too. Lose 10 pounds, if fat for sure. Definitely. I have to fit into my wedding dress next weekend for my first fitting. I could really use a magic randomly lose 10 pounds of fat right about now. I have a maybe IDK how this will work with Covey wedding in October to go to, and it seems as if all efforts to lose weight have the opposite effect. Losing 10 pounds would be helpful. Oh, also congrats and good luck. Probably gain 5 pounds of muscle. I haven't had any significant weight change in 6 years, and I'm in the median healthy weight for my height and age. 5 pounds of muscle, but only in my head, so I can have big brain time. Muscle burns fat, so I'd take the muscle. With the extra 5 pounds I would have a total of 5. Think what you could do with all 5 pounds of muscle. Like hold a kite. Maybe. I'm exactly 1 pound below the maximum weight range I should be at. I fought 4 years with my weight, and I'm glad according to the charts I'm no longer overweight. But I can't budge my weight anymore. At all. I would love to lose 10 pounds. So that I'm not just teetering on being overweight. I have a cushion. Well, I won't have an actual cushion anymore, but that's okay. I don't know what it is. I lost all the weight and then my body stopped and won't move below this. Weight is thing hard, man. Lose 10 pounds of fat. I've already lost 24 pounds since quarantine started in March. The boost would be awesome. I have a long way to go. I've already lost 24 pounds since quarantine started in March. I think I've found them. How can I send them back to you? Lose 10 pounds. A smaller waist and flatter stomach wouldn't be too bad. 10 pounds of fat. I've recently started working out consistently, so I feel like I'm gaining the muscle already, but having trouble losing the fat. Exactly. People say it's harder to gain muscle than it is to lose fat, but it's way more fun to lift than it is to eat less. Finally some sanity. Been lifting for 2 years. It's way easier to put on muscle than lose fat. At least for me. Right, these people saying they could lose 10 pounds in a month don't realize how terrible it would be for you and how much of that weight would actually be muscle. Not only is it easier in my opinion to gain muscle, it's way more fun than running and dieting. This is coming from years of experience bulking and cutting. If you go on a bulk and gain 5 pounds of muscle, you will also gain 5 to 10 pounds of fat along with it. Then you also have to lose that fat. That's like half a year of working out and dieting right there. I know I would take the 5 pounds of muscle any day. Probably the 10 pounds. I do be looking kinda chunky. Lose 10 pounds of fat. Because jiggly bits. 5 pounds of muscle. I'm fairly happy with my body weight as is. And the extra muscle in the right places could really accentuate everything. Gain 10 pounds of fat. And lose 5 pounds of muscle. And stay the same. Muscle. I'm anorexic, so weight less is not an option. Me too. Much easier to lose fat than gain muscle. So, going with muscle gain. Stay the same. I look great. Lose 10 pounds of fat. I'd be halfway to my goal. 5 pounds of muscle. I'm already sitting at around 12% body fat, so that's the more sensible option. And losing 10 pounds of fat is a hell of a lot quicker than gaining 5 pounds of muscle too. I would opt to lose 10 pounds fat. I'm pretty strong as it is. And my body responds well to strength training. But OMG, it collects and holds on to fat like I'm a peasant girl preparing for a long winter. Can I gain fat? Muscle. It's harder to put on and can help you lose fat quicker. I'd gain the muscles, specifically in my arms. My kids are heavy and still want carries. This is the equivalent of a bad genie wish. Gain. I'm underweight. Muscle. I'm fat, but I'll take the muscle.